Good morning, guys. This is Paula, and I'm back for us to work in the altered book. Now, there's a few things I need to tell you about the altered book I discovered. Well, for one thing, we had only used a little bit, and look what we've got. So we've probably used I would say not very many. I tore out, I would work 5, tear out 5, 6, 7, 8, and that went on clear up to here. Now, I started discovering that this book was not getting smaller. I mean, it was still that wide. Okay, see the glue sticking out of my finger here, or on my finger? It was still, we still had like a whole book left, it seemed. This book was 400 and something, 480 or more pages. So it's close to 500 pages, which I guess you have to be aware of. So, the last page we did was this one with the pocket. We put an envelope on for pocket. And I just put in one of my already made, I'm trying to use stuff out of my stash that will match so I can go on and make new stuff. And so there's the card that goes down in the envelope. To be gentle with the envelope because it's not, the paper is not as durable as the book page. And so to keep it down, I used a paper clip here with a little bit of lace. Now, it does want to grab right in here. So I may have to trim these 2 corners in. We're just going to see what happens. It's wanting to bend every time the page closes. Now, one thing I've discovered about doing this book, and it's a learning curve for me too. It is learning for me too. I'm going to flip through as we go. Long story short, as it gets heavier, it starts wanting to separate a little bit. Now, what I've been doing to keep that from happening is I've been adding only on the ones that need it. Lace. I really put the glue here really well. Put the lace here. And the other one I noticed was the very front one. It has the most weight pulling on it. Okay, so I put some rosettes trim from Ooh La La Crafts, and so yeah, I don't know, I don't know if Gail has this problem or not. I guess I need to text her and see, but it's not that big a deal. So anyway, I'm going to show you real quick where we're at, and I've been checking and watching these. So if I sell this, I want anyone and everyone to know that it was the first time I made one of these. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, and I say operate on it as you go. If you have trouble, put some lace down the middle. At least that's what I've been doing, because that will hold those 2 pages together. If you do it, like 3 rows of glue. And I'm sure before it's over with, we will have other ones that want to come loose too. But it's not a big deal. It's a journal. It's homemade. It's for fun. But it can be very usable. And so what we're gonna do, I'm going through this as I go along here talking. What we're going to do is, it's got a flip out there, is we're going to back off on pockets because that's what's adding the bulk. Then by the time you add all your ephemera and stuff, it's adding more bulk. Now, in it I say we're backing off. We're not completely backing off. We're taking it down to 1 pocket every now and then, okay? So wherever I tore pages is where we're going to have a pocket, so it can cover up the torn page area. And I'm going to show you, like I did a pocket here because there were pages torn between the pocket and this page. Okay, and I got to where I was tearing more and leaving less. So I'm leaving like 3 or 4 pages. I just had to because we weren't getting, you know, and I may have to do more before it's over with. So I'm not doing anything with the back of the book yet. Yes, the back, see, I'm going to keep going and show you. I did that one. There's only like 3 you can actually do. And then I did a small one. I'm kind of trying to rotate them. But I'm going to show you where the next one would go. I just did the first 3 or 4. Oh, here's the next one. I guess I did more than that. It's going to cause wrinkling. It just does. Right here is where the next pocket will be or whatever, because that's where we tore. So like with this one, even though I held it straight up and let it dry, it still wants to bulk a little bit. So I don't, you know, I think it's just how it is. I think it's the part of the process. But I want to show you what the spine looks like, and I'm going to show you what it looks like from this side. Let's see, right here. So you can see right there, I hope. See where you can see where they were torn and where they're still into the spine. Little short sections, what it would have been. Down here's what it's going to be. And if you look, we still have more than half of this portion back here left. So we may be tearing more, but right now I've torn through the whole book, and that's how it is. Now, if you look here at the spine, I just want you to know what I'm learning and what you should know, and prepare yourself for it when you're working on one. I wouldn't keep myself from doing it. I would just try to figure it out along the way. And part of me said at one point, why not just take it off of this book and put it into another book? Well, you really can't do that with a glued spine. Not that I'm aware of. I've never done it, I'll put it that way. So this will probably look broke down, but my thought was to put lace on the outside when we end up decorating the outside. So I'm not going to freak out and think, oh man, this project's went down in the hole. I don't think so. It's been so much fun. I would do it again. I would learn from this one, and this is why I'm being very honest with you about what I'm discovering. I need to go back really and watch Gail's, but I just thought I wanted to do it with just you guys. And so, and I know Gail's done several, and I think it would get better as you go. Okay, I'm going to take this little clip off for right now because we're going to work on this page. Now, also, I think the more flat pages we have, the better. And once we get them all decorated, which can go pretty fast if we just do lots more flat pages, because we're only going to do pockets on the left side right now, and they're going to be this pocket, high side pocket, although on this one, not this one, the next one. So one single pocket here, and a side pocket here, and go a little ways, a small pocket here. Now in the middle, I glued the center right here, so it would be 2 pockets. So we can think we're having more than 1 pocket, right? And we're going to go on, and on these flat ones, we're just going to put 1 sheet of decorative paper. That way we don't have stuff piling up and getting bulky, but it will still look beautiful. And I thought if when we're all done, we have some room for bulk, we could go back to those just single pages and add some places to journal, because you know there's prints and so forth. So here's another side pocket, And then we're just going to go on and have, you know, that's where I left off. So I think we'll be able to finish it quicker too. So let's do it. I think it's been fun. Don't be discouraged. I kind of look at it like, if the book doesn't turn out like I want, I'll figure it out and we'll do another one, only much smaller. I did start out with a very big book. This book was right at 500 pages. So, you know, what can I say? All right, so I think I want to do some blue for a while. Isn't that pretty? Now, at the very end of this book, on the last video, I'm going to try to put up all the links to all the papers. You can go check them all out, because I'll just be honest, I don't know who everyone is. I'm using so many different papers that, you know, it's hard to be able to choose which one is which. So I'm just going to work on some blue right now. And I mean, I can't possibly remember them all. I guess that's what I'm saying. All right, so I want to start with the first one I had here, this one. And some of the background is blue, some of it's kind of a, how do I say it, greenish blue, and so on. So I'm going to set this to the side. We're going to tear, okay? So I really like this side over here. So we're going to put this on the right side of the page. And I'm going to kind of mark where I want it. Just with my fingernail. Real official way here. I need to check with Tracy and find out where she got her tear tool. I'd like to have more than just one style. I think it'd be fun to be able to, you know, do one style here, one style there. Now we're going to tear right here on the seam of where I needed to. I hope you guys are having a great day. I do have things to tell you about my retreat. It wasn't a big deal. It was just a weekend retreat here in town, and we had fun. Didn't get a lot accomplished. I'll just tell you honestly, when we get together, it's kind of like, if it was a once a year thing, it'd be different. But we get together every month for the local one that I went to. But I still try to accomplish stuff. Doesn't always work that way. Things happen different every time, or someone who hasn't been there in a long time comes and you have to hear all their stories, and you find yourself playing more than working. So, see, these pages are not going to be dull, even if they're solid, because we can go back and put pockets on anything that looks like it can handle it. Okay, I just don't want to put permanent pockets in the book, except ever so often. Okay, now I'm gonna, because, you know, the book is going to end up sticky, on this whole page is going to be covered, I'm just going to hopefully get my paper to cooperate. It just wants to stick to my glue. I guess I'll just have to go one direction, and that's okay. You have to be kind of quick when you do it like this, because, you know, it dries pretty fast. And I do have my fan on. Turn this down some more. Yeah, so we did, you know, it's here locally in our town. And so we decided to eat lunch and dinner. We ate lunch on Saturday instead of breakfast. And, you know, that always takes a while because, you know, you're going to talk half the time. And let me make sure I've got this in first, and I'll carry on. I just don't want to have to rip it off. Yeah, there we go. See, even when it's solid, it's pretty. The downside is that you only use one. We could do more than one page, but I really want to keep it as flat as we can. Now here on the left, we're gonna have, I'm gonna put this down in here and then maybe do a pink. We're gonna decorate and make this look different by different kinds of papers in different sections. I think that's a good way to do it. So we've got that right there. So I'm going to tear right here. So we ended up going to lunch. I'm trying to remember even where we ate. That's terrible, I don't even remember. And, oh, we ate at Hideaway Pizza. Now I remember. Anyway, and that was great. And I got to meet one of my friend's husbands, which was nice. And we went from there to the home goods store because I had heard, and I had never been there because it's not close by my house, and I had heard that they had some of these really awesome kind of vintage looking fans that actually just remade, actually look like they were vintage, but they're not. So I got a brass one and a silver one. They had them in every color you could imagine. Pink, peach, white, turquoise. I mean, just every color. It was awesome. Okay, so now we're gonna glue. I'm gonna turn this up this way and we're gonna glue it right up here. I gotta see how far in we have to tear. Like, we'll have to tear a little bit here to fit inside the corner. And I don't worry about that being perfect. Remember, it's okay. So like, I just do it like that. And then down here, I do the same thing by letting it bend it up a little bit, you know. And then there we go. So anyway, so I ended up buying 2 fans. I ended up spending $78, of course. I found some boxes, much needed boxes I needed for my craft room. And it was like a TJ Maxx, Marshall's, Tuesday Morning, and like, that's the kind of store it is. Some of you may have those in your town, some of you may not. But anyway, and it's kind of like name brand stuff, a lot of name brand stuff, but at better prices. And they're not irregulars or anything like that. At least I haven't found any of them to be. It's just like overstock stuff. Okay, now we're going to glue this down inside here. I tore that one a little bit too much probably, but it'll work. If I can get this part down in there first without sticking to everything. That's the downside to going ahead and making the pockets, but you know what? I felt like I needed to in this situation. Okay, get in there. There we go. We may need to add some glue once we're down in there. Okay. See, like this one, I probably put down too far. But I'm just going to tear it a little bit more. Right there. So see, it's really just a little touch color there, and I'm going to add a couple little pieces here because I really don't want the text to be sticking out there. So I'm going to take a little piece and just tear it in half. So I did work on cards the whole time I was there, and with a friend of mine who had gone to the same event that we had bought this paper and decided we wanted to make cards out of it. Whew. It took us all day to just stamp. We cut out our card bases out of, you know, like 110 pound, and then so they'd be super nice. And then we so we cut out those. We cut out all the matted areas that we would be stamping on to the right size. And it wasn't like a card kit. Okay, it was just a designer type paper. And anyway, got that. There we go. Now I thought we could come in here with some kind of pink. Anyway, it was like a designer type paper. What am I talking about? Paper. All right. And I had just brought some example of cards that we could do like a set. And so that's what we did. And it turned out, the ones we've done have turned out cute, but I want to finish, we're going to make 15, hopefully, out of this pack of paper. That's the plan. And they're going to be coordinating, and they are fall, and, you know, they're like September, October, November type kind of paper. Trying to find a certain color in my mile long, tall. And I will be doing a video after this one that will introduce, I do have my doilies up on Etsy now, but I will introduce them to you guys in the next video. Okay. I'm having a hard time finding pink in this stack. Oh, there it is. I'm sorry. I don't have you over there because there's not room. I did a lot of cleaning out today because my friend that's making the cards with me is coming to the house to help me, or we're going to help each other finish the cards. So now when we're doing a lot of light pages, they're going to curl, but we'll do the other side, which will help balance it a little bit. And some of the edges may have to have, wait a minute, I'm not doing it the long, here's the long way. I was like, what am I doing? Okay. So I got a new computer. My husband's been working on it. I went from I think a 14, no, from a 14, yeah, I did. It was 14, from a 14 to a 17. It's like having a television in your lap. It's a laptop, you know, which is what I prefer. You know, we got an iPad, but I prefer the laptop. First of all, I can't see very well, so I have to enlarge the stuff. And I don't like to hold it up to my face. I would prefer to just, I don't know how I cut that so crooked, but it's all right. We'll bring it up this way. Well, actually, I'm going to pull a little bit off this end, and that should even it up a little bit. Maybe. Look at this. Oh my goodness, Paula. Well, let me see what that will work. That will work. It will work. I'm not too scared or worried. I'm going to put it over here. Make sure I get a perfect measurement on this one. You know, we want it to be perfect. I think that it tore because I have it up kind of in the air instead of flat on a flat surface. And I'm not super strong in my hands, so it's hard to keep this ruler down where it's gonna cooperate. Okay, so here we go here. We'll put it this way. No, we won't. Those flowers are upside down when we do that. Okay, so right here, and I'll trim that part again because I don't like it up on the top. I think I just don't want, see, it's not cooperating with me. That's why I thought maybe I'd do better with Tracy's little tear tool because it's smaller. And anyway, so I have a lot of books lined up. I have finished my design team project, so I will be doing a video on that. After that video, I will come in and we will, let me get this straight and then I'll tell you. I'm going to come in and we will work on this book, and but I will also show you the cards. And I did finish covering an album. Now, when I say covering, I mean that I haven't decorated, you know, put little images or anything in it. I just got it covered with the background paper, and then I'll go back and as I add my photos, I'll do mats and so forth. And if you guys like that photo book, I won't put it in my store because that one's for my family, but I will take custom orders if you're interested. Okay. All right. Now, let's try this and see if we're going to get it to cooperate. Everything wants to flip up right now. Okay. I like to always get some right in the middle. Didn't have this problem before because we were thickening up the pages so much. But I think doing it like this is really going to help us to have a better result. We probably should have done this from the beginning, but no, I was trying to be creative and come up with all these different pockets, which was fun. And I don't regret that. I think that maybe what we should have done was do some of these blank pages, you know, 2, 3 in a row, and then do the rest of them. You know, just alternate what we did. Kind of come up with an order of how you're going to do the book in general. In other words, plan it. See what you're going to do. Plan it. Okay. All right, come out of there. Okie doke. I think we got it. And I'm not going to worry about what direction it is. I'm going to put this little torn part down at the bottom, but I'm going to put it in so it's not noticeable. Yeah. I don't like putting a lot of the edges down into the spine because when you turn the pages, I've noticed that when you turn the pages, I'll put it that way, you can have, it will grab on it down in the spine. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and just cut that portion off. See, like there's one right here. This is what it does. It will stick up even if you glue it down. Trust me, I've tried it both ways. And then I usually end up going back and having to try to glue it down again. And by the time it's dry, it's already popped up. It makes it really hard to change what you've done down there. Okay, so I'm going to do like this and put some glue right in that section and just rub it with my finger. So one thing I like about this Yoo-Hoo glue is you can put it on the outside as well as underneath, because it will just dry and not be sticky. It makes you wonder how it can work so well. See, like I glued this just now. This is the kind of thing you want to watch for. I put glue on here, but if you take too long to put this down, it does dry and it will do this. See how that is right there? And then you either have to hope that you can lift it like I'm doing right now, or try to squeeze glue underneath it. Now, instead of going with the glue stick, since it didn't hold the first time, which is unusual, I'm sure it dried with the air and my fan going, I just go back with Fabri-Tac. I know it's going to keep it down, you know. And I'm trying to go to the edges so they don't get ripped up. The opposite of what you normally do, because you don't want it oozing out. In this situation, it's a little different. But what I would say to you, if you made one or bought one from someone, you would want to always watch your pages and just touch it up every now and then. Put some glue here or put some glue there. It's not a nuisance. It's super easy. And yeah. Okay. There we go. The nice thing is if you use Fabri-Tac, it dries clear. And I know a lot of people aren't like me and crazy about glue oozing out. I really like to get Fabri-Tac, especially if it leaks out of the side, because that's what I'm doing right now. Because I think it's so much stickier. It could glue your page together. It could, you know, anything. You can rub with your finger and just roll it off when it gets to a certain point when it's not as wet. But I also use the tip of my glitter glue, which is this. You can get this at May Made It. You can tell her I sent you. And you can get it on Amazon. You can get it on Etsy. You can get it scrapbook.com. Trying to think of the most common places. I think those will cover it. But there's way more people. If I miss somebody that covers it, I'm sorry. I'm just pulling names that I know have it. Okay. Make sure that corner's down. It is. Kind of, for a second, I thought it wasn't. All right, so we got that glue off, and I think we're good for that. I'm looking to see if there's any place that's loose, and if there is, I can glue it as I find it, you know. Okay, so now I want to put a little piece right up here on this portion because I think it's too big. So if I'm going to do it, why not do it blue, right? No, maybe not. It will just give us a chance to put a layer on there that in that one corner at least. See? We can do it like that. Well, that didn't tear very pretty. I tore straight and it needs to be at an angle. Okay. Right there. I like to do odd stuff like that. Just out the, you know, the only thing that's that color, but I probably will add a little bit of pink on the other page just to kind of make it look like it goes together, or make it look like it was meant to happen. Yeah, so let's do a little pink somewhere over here. I'm just thinking where. Where's a little bare spot? I think I'm going to do it down here on the right hand side. And again, I'm just going to do it just a little strip. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to put the glue on over here with my glue stick. I've got my glue book to the side because it's just hard to, if I can glue it on the page, I will. It's just kind of hard to get it to look right. Yeah, there we go. Now we've got this pocket here on this side. I'm gonna move it over a little bit, not this thing that's sticking up. Now over here we got to remember that we have our pocket. We need to ink as soon as we think about it because we'll forget. I know I will. Just where the ink is, I mean just where the pocket is. I should have done that on all of them before I glued them down. And we'll come back, or I'll come back and do all the inking later. Now, I think it's okay if we add a decoration on here. If we wanted to do a bird, and then we can do a theme, like if you want to do floral. Yeah, most of these are floral because it's kind of a Victorian vintage look, or shabby chic. But you could add, you know, like some of my, let me show you. I know you guys saw it the other day. Let me see if I have any left of any of my doily. Well, I actually had the new doilies, and I'll show you those in the next video. But you know, I was using some that I just had extra of, and you know that I used the I'll show you the one we've already used. I'll use part of that. How about that? So this basket, but I like this trim, so I'm going to put it right there. I think that is fine. That's not going to be too much. Now you can tear it or you can trim it. This one, this digital is coming out. It's actually in my store right now. There's a set of them, and I will air all of those in my next video. I'm going to do a video of its own. And I will be constantly working on doing different. Now, you're probably thinking, why aren't you tearing that? Well, it has a little scallop, and I think it'll look cute with this little scallop. Is it cut perfect? No. I'm just whizzing in and whizzing out here because I think it'll go faster. Now, I just wanted this trim, and I'll use the basket on something else at some point. We've already had a basket in this book, so I don't want to repeat that over and over. But you could do it differently. You could cut out just the basket portion, or tear around. That's what I would do. And that would look good. Now I know we're collaging, and a lot of collaging is tearing. But you can also cut around images, birds, flowers, or you can tear around those. It's easier to tear around flowers, I'll tell you, than birds. Unless you just tear around everything around the bird, you know, like the tree or whatever. But I like them to be bigger images. See, I'm just cutting this like it was, and it's going to look like it's a piece of lace because it's awesome that way. That's the thing about doilies that, you know, are cool. So I'm going to put it right here. I like that. I like it. I like it. Okay, let me get my glue stick going because I think it will go down pretty good with the glue stick. Now, here we go. And because we did blue and pink like this, it's gonna be perfect. Okay. I don't think we're gonna have to do the whole thing, but we'll see. I'm really gonna layer the glue on here because I don't want this coming up. And you don't see yourself doing that with the glue stick, putting your trim down, do you? It's not something you normally do. Now I'm gonna start at this end. Can you guys see? I want to make sure. Yeah, you can. And I'm just gonna put it on here straight across the pocket, and it's gonna cover up any letters we had on there. I have a lot more trims that I'm gonna release laces and trims to, just so you know. At some point I'm gonna go ahead and ink that, since we just added it on top of the part we inked on before. Okay, let's go ahead and ink here so we can kind of show those edges a little bit. All right, let me move my book. I'm sorry, there's a lot of moving around, but you have to do that when you collage because it just, things go from one place to the next. I'll let you see what that looks like. I don't know what all's under my book here. I thought nothing. And take this page, and you could have done this ahead of time, but I just decided, why do that, you know? And you want to kind of hold it down a little bit and keep rubbing on it till you know it's kind of there. Okay, so now we also, if we wanted to, we could put a bird or a floral or butterfly or something on here that you think would look good on this. So I'm going to grab, I don't think I have any butterflies handy. I haven't got my book right here by me. Let me grab some. You could put a photo square, or you can do whatever. This is a cute, just random box that I got. They're cute. I'm not into elephants, but I'm into this box, and I am into the Dream Big. So I usually, these are my birds. So I take books and I trim around. I get bird books. I'm lucky enough to find the book, and then I just cut them out. Now, if you're desperate and you can't find birds, for your own use only, you can copy just a bird or two and use those. Now, these are all from a magazine, except this one. I loved it so much, I made a copy of it in case I had an emergency and needed to use it. So we're going to look for birds that are in the blue family. Here's one, but he's not really facing the right direction, in my opinion. I'm gonna see if I'm looking here in my box to see if I have one facing the other direction. What about this little guy? I just love this little guy. I have had the same copy of several, but he's also looking the wrong direction. I've had the same bird in so many of my different books, the same picture and everything. I'm trying to dig through here with some success. You know, you only have two ways the bird can look. Now, if you put it over here, it's okay. Okay? But if you put it on the blue side, it's not so okay. But see, he's not going to look right there. I really love the birds that are flying, but some of them look weird. Now, those are pretty, but they don't go with the color scheme. But they do have a tendency to look kind of odd. Now, here's one with some black in it, but that's okay because look at this black in the... And he is on a branch, but then his tail will stick out. And that wouldn't be cool, right? It just has to be the right bird for the right situation. And some of them are just, they don't have very big trunks in the pictures. You just have to investigate. Go on and Google birds, and if you don't have a bird book, if you want to use them in your artwork, they have to be at least 25 to 30 years old from the copyright date, okay? Unless they are still printing the book over and over, okay? I believe that is what it is. Now, do I guarantee it? No, because I am not an expert in that field. But you do always want to make sure. My husband is actually working on that, on a lot of different things for me. And, you know, he's about to retire, and we've talked about this. We're like, look at these little birds. I'm going to use these. I just think they're adorable. Look at them. They're sitting on weeds, it looks like. It looks white, so I'm not sure. They may be on ice. Who knows? I don't know my birds that well. I am going to ink around this bird because when I cut them, a lot of times I cut that little white edge. I do a lot of fussy cutting. I mean, oops, look at these birds right here. I have flowers like that too. So I set at night, and I have a lamp that I can really see well to fussy cut, and I put my little specs on, and I sit there, and we either will watch YouTube videos or we'll watch something on TV. My husband and I have been kind of doing like quiet time at night, and he'll be on his computer working on something for me or working on something for himself, and then I'll be, you know, fussy cutting or working on my friendship quilt or something like that. My friendship quilt is an embroidery project that I'm doing on a vintage rectangle. It's going to be like a wall hanging or something. It's going to take the rest of my life to do it. So, all right, so these little guys are going to go right here, and I love them. So let me put the box away before I knock it off again. I almost spilled that. Listen, I have spilled that box of birds at least twice, if not 3 times. And I just almost spilled them, which would have been the 3rd time. And so the other day, before I left for my crop, I was getting things and pulling my totes and so forth out of here, and my husband's in the other room, and I knock a huge tray. I mean, it's a tray with lots of separation, you know, where you can put this in one section, and then, you know, had a lot of sections. Anyway, here goes our little birds. I don't know their name, but if you want to know, just kind of look it up. Look up birds. I don't know my birds. I don't know all my butterflies. I don't know all my bugs. I know the common ones. But I just don't get into that sort of thing. I'm not a over-the-top nature person. The only thing I love about nature is the part that shows you the creation of the world. I love just looking at something amazing and thinking, oh my goodness, the things our Creator has done, you know. I love that part of nature. Okay, so this isn't a lot, but when I make a card or whatever, we can do something with birds. But this is better than bulking up our book too much, right? So let me see what time it is. We probably have time to do another one. Yeah, we can do this is going to be 2 flat ones, so we can do something that's pretty quick. Now, let me see. Let's just do a different color just for fun of it. Here we have some gold and a little bit of pink in it. Let me grab another one. We might do one side with one and the other side with another. If I can find something in the same color scheme. That does have a little bit of, oh, I really do like that. See the little birds in those trees? I didn't even notice those when I purchased it. I have purchased so many because I love doing this. I think what I'm going to do is we'll do this. We'll go down the center right here. I'm just going to cut it down or tear it down the center, and then we'll take the edges off, and then maybe we'll do some collaging around the outside with the colors that are in this. Does that sound good? Now, I am going to go ahead and fold it down the center so I have it balanced as much as possible. When we get this side covered, it should quit popping up, but then the other side will start popping up. So I have folded it down the center, and I'm going to then tear it. You can do it like this to kind of thin it out a little bit. Fold it both directions, and then you hold it down and hold the very top so it doesn't tear quickly. Go slow, because it's not going to be perfect. I'll tell you right now. It can tear, do its own thing if you don't keep your finger up against the folded line. There we go. See, we got a little tear mark. It's not perfectly straight. Now these areas over here, because of time and because I want it to be jaggedy, but I want it to be where we can mix in other colors. The bird has got like blue around it. There's kind of a yellow goldish tone in here. There's green, there's pink. So anything we use in those colors is fine. Or you could actually put music sheet underneath around the outside. You could do just about anything. There is not a wrong way to do it. And I think rather than going deep into the spine, which also causes bulkiness, we'll just make sure we cover up the text, just like that. So if we miss, I'm trying to think as we go along here of different ways to keep it from being too awfully bulky. Now we did add some bulk with the bird and the lace that we added on the last one and the pocket, but we got to do something, right? We just can't go crazy. Now this would be another, I know we just did a bird, but because it has birds on it, it would do a, it'd be good with the bird on it. Something in the green or yellow or brown. Okay. I think we're going to glue the one on the left first and see if we can calm it down a little bit. I do like the way that looks. So let's go like this. Right here. I'm going to do the middle first so I can save the edges to do last. I think it works better. Because then if it dries anywhere, you know, the center is the best place for it to happen. I guess. I don't know that there's a good place for it to happen at all, honestly. And I personally don't know long term how the Yoo-Hoo glue holds up. Everything I've made with it has stayed together. All my embellishments that I've had in my embellishment box. I've not had any trouble. Every now and then there'll be a little edge, but I just fix it and use it because, you know, everyone that's going to be interested in anything that's collage is going to know about collaging usually. If nothing else, just from watching videos, you know. So, I'm going to put this right here, and then we'll collage around it at some point here. I think it's going to help not having a bunch of stuff down this center. And if you have trouble, you're just going to put glue in the middle, glue on this page, glue on this page, the same with whatever ribbon or lace you're using. I think that lace will do better than any kind of trim or ribbon. Or the trim, a fabric trim, I think would do great too. Like what we used at the very beginning. When I cover my cover, when I cover the cover of the book, I would definitely use Fabri-Tac. When you're adding anything that you're not sure of, add the Fabri-Tac. Of how its longevity would be, is what I mean. Like I put the fabric design on the inside of the front cover. That was done with Fabri-Tac because I just didn't trust anything heavier. Of course, you're not really going to be using too heavy of stuff in a collaged book because it just wouldn't last long. Ooh, we haven't done green. I think I like it. Let me see if I have some Artie Mays' green. Wouldn't that be pretty? Torn around the top and sides. Got to go down a little deeper here in my book. I thought I did. I know I have gold. I'm looking. Some of my papers have kind of gotten mixed together here. Now there's that. I really wanted the green. I may have already used it. I need to print off some more of these. And then there's the yellow. I like the yellow. It's kind of more of a gold than a yellow. Still looking here. Give me a minute. Okay. Come on, come on. Let's see. Here's some pink. That would be pretty too because there is pink in there. Pink and blue. I think that's the only ones I have. Boo-hoo. I will print some more of those for the next time we collage. I've also got this. This is kind of pretty. But it would be pretty for a background too. So I think we'll stick with doing one of these two. I think the pink has a little bit of a lavender, but if you lay it next to the pink, it's perfect. I really think the pink is going to go better, guys. I hate to disappoint you, but we're going to have to do the pink. The pink is design-wise looks better. And that's my opinion. You might have a different opinion, and that's fine too. Okay. We're going to tear this because at this point, that's going to look good. Okay. Pick these little pieces of trash up. Over here, they're in my way. Can't get my book in here. Okay. Now let's move the book over. Tear this side. I thought what we could do after we get all the white took off, we could just tear again around it and kind of make like a border. We can tear them apart. We can do whatever we want. Trying to think. Oh, then we just ended up going to dinner. It's just a family food place. I think it was, oh, it was Cracker Barrel. And we went there because, you know, everybody has a different opinion on what they want to eat. Makes everybody happy except the person who wants some kind of beverage. They don't carry alcohol. And it wouldn't be me because I'm not much of an alcohol drinker. Once in a while. I'm always the designated driver, but not this weekend. I didn't bring my car, so it worked out perfect. Okay, so now we've got this all torn on all four sides. So what we're going to do is take one of the long sides again, and we're going to see how wide. We don't want it super wide, but we can bring it in on this, okay? So it's hard to see. It's harder to tear from this side, but I'm going to try it, see what we end up with. Here we go. It's gonna be, you have to go slower. I'll just tell you, you'll tear it in half. Come on. We won't need the very end piece. And we may decide we don't like that. Let's just see what it looks like. Let's put it down here. If we don't like it, we'll bring it back right back up. Okay. So I'm thinking like this. I'm just trying to do something different since we can't do a lot of bulk. Let's try it this direction. Okay, I think I like it like that better. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. Okay. Get my book out here. It's hard with my desk like it is. I don't have a mat down, and then everything ends up being in your workspace. I am going to try to get that put on in the next day or two. I've had my mixed medium one. I really like my Tim Holtz the best, but it does cause a glare sometimes. But I know while working on this, we wouldn't have to worry about that because we have too much stuff on the desk. Okay, so let's start up here. And remember, perfection is not what we're going for. Yeah, I like that. It's different. Different. So let's work on the next one. We're going to do the two outside ones and around the top and around the bottom. We're not going to go down the center unless it looks weird. I kind of want it to just be kind of a little bit different. So it's going to frame out the two. It's going to look like a frame, framing out the 2 pages. So there's no, you know, problems when it comes to that. Let's do this one more time, and then we're going to need to change our paper. It is sticky. Let's move it down and do this end. Okay, now we're going to do it on this side. My glues are in my way and I keep knocking over everything on this right side. Okay, so now we'll do this from the top. Take it from the top. Yeah. Tear this little end off. Tear it off again. I didn't get it quite short enough. Maybe I'll just use these little scissors because it's sticking pretty good. These little scissors are a joke when this paper's even slightly wet. I mean, seriously, a total joke. Where is my scissors? I can't tell you how many times over the weekend I lost my scissors. Okay, let's pull out a different pair. Pull out my Tim Holtz that is hard to cut. I don't know what I did with those things. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna go right here. There we go. There we go, good. Okay, so see how we did that? Okay, now on this side, we're going to go across the top, but we will be doing 2 pieces, so we can do them off the end, which should go a little faster. Should tear a little faster, I'll put it that way. I'm going to go ahead and just tear all 4 of them at the same time, make it a little faster, plus we know that we'll get them the same width, or pretty close anyway. It does take some work of the fingers. I got to get a drink, I'm sorry. I haven't drank that much this morning, and it's hard to talk whenever you haven't drank that much. I may be covering some of these things in my spare time. I don't want to bore you guys by just seeing me cover a page. If you think you'd like to see that part, I will hold off, but I don't want you to think just covering a page and doing nothing else is cool. But I am adding little images here and there, and I think that helps. There went the glue again. You guys got any suggestions for your glue stick falling over constantly, for your, even my Fabri-Tac? I can set it down and it just rolls over. I'm telling you, craziness. There's just things that gets on your desk and it just really bugs me. Bugs me. Okay. This is getting, I need to try to cut that off. It's getting pretty. Making it hard to tear my paper. I may just flip it over. Yeah, I don't think there's much of a chance I'm going to be able to get that off. I let it go too long. This side's smaller. We'll just try it on that side for a while. Okay, so now we're going to glue. Now obviously this is probably longer than we need, so I'm just going to kind of hold the one end dry and see what happens. Let's just do it here on the bottom first. I would suggest taking it past the rectangle and over the one on the side, and then just tear. Like, you know, it's okay for them to overlap. There's no rules with collage. That's what I believe. There's no rules. So I'm going to take another piece. I'm over on my glue book right now. About to run out of glue, actually. I can tell. It's, you know how, yeah, there it went, just as I said it. But the tip came out. Okay, let's go ahead and get this side. We'll start from the middle, and I kind of tried to find one that was the same width, but it's not always that easy to do that. Okay, now we're going to come all the way over, tear it off by the end of the book, and there we go. Look at that. That's looking pretty cool. You can see how we got to do the top now, and then it should finish it off pretty good. Come on, glue. You cooperate with me. Let me get this next one on. I don't like to waste it. Are you guys the same way? Don't like it to let me waste it. Now it's trying to stick to my book. Goodness. Okay, and I'm going to bring this down a little bit so I can reach it. It's too far in, I think. That's different, huh? Trying to get it off my finger, it's stuck to me. Okay, now we'll do the other side and we will have the paper down. Oh, forgot to get the new glue, sorry. This is Yoo-Hoo Magic Glue. You can get it on Amazon. I know most of you know that by now, probably. But just in case we have someone new, you always want to tell. Okay, so let me get the dry spot, put the wet one to the inside, kind of line it up with the opposite page so it's kind of looks like it's the same. Bring it over here and tear it. Yay! I like the way this turned out. It's fun to do something different, isn't it? I think it needs a bluebird somewhere. And I'm just going to get my birds out and see what we think. We might not be lucky enough to find one. We didn't go deep in this thing, so. Now see, that's pretty too, because you could put him right on top. I don't like the log on there on top. You know, he needs to be one that's kind of setting flat. Kind of like this, actually. So you just kind of set him on there like he's part of whatever, but he's not the, no. Sometimes you have to cut, you know, make it different. Here's a pretty one, but I don't know if he's, oh, he's got a family. He's got a friend. Oh, that's pretty though, isn't it? Trying to think. I think it would look better over here, but I'm kind of toward the edge so you can tell that it looks like it's coming out of, because there's birds in here and it's got the gold and the green. Yeah, this one's going to be the pick of the day. We'll glue this down. See what it looks like. When you have all these little things sticking out on one of the things you fussy cut, you want to go from the center out. Otherwise, you'll rip it. I've done it, I know. And sometimes you move along and you think, I don't need to go that direction. And you do it again. You think you got it all figured out, but not always. It can be difficult. Okay, here we go. Let's put it over here. Like they're coming out of the, gotta see how I had it before. Gotta make sure everything will land in the right spot. And I like that we're getting two different color birds on here. Now all the painstaking work I did cutting this out. Now I do not go between the legs and all that stuff. I like to do it, but I'm not going to spend that much time. Just what I usually end up doing is just inking. I'll show you, because I got to ink around the whole thing anyway at some point. But I'll show you on here. You've got this section right here. Whatever your background color is, you just kind of very gently go on the bird. Now, I didn't ink around the outside of this bird because I figured I'd go over that section. But you can ink once you put stuff down. It's not that big a deal. It might not look the same, but it will work. So there you go. So guys, I'm so glad you joined me today. Tomorrow, I will be showing you my images in the next video. Actually, the next video. I'm going to do it today. And in the meantime, go check it out over at my Etsy shop. I'm Renewed and Crafted for You. All one word. And if you have trouble bringing Etsy up, just type Renewed and Crafted for You, the number 4 and the letter U at the end. And go to I'll have the link below. I don't know why I'm telling you that. I don't think I've ever done that before. But anyway, I have 3 sets of digitals right now, and several different kinds coming. And I am designing some myself. You may not be attracted to those, but I'm also, like the quilts I did and the collage sheets I did. And I'm working on some different types. I'm going to do some watercolor ones. I'm going to do, you name it. I'm going to do trims and laces. I'm going to do vintage photos, some great vintage photos. And legal documents that are from the late 1800s or the early 1900s. It's just going to go on and on. It's just going to be a process. It takes time to get them out. We're getting better at it, so it'll get faster and faster. All right, guys. See you in the next video. If you haven't subscribed, please do. See you then. Bye.